He's sweet.
Yeah.
And how long have you had him?
6 years.
6 years. And he's been faithful, no problems.
He bolts on me once in a while.
Yeah?
And he'll run home if somebody gets on and doesn't know what they're doing, or tries to push him to doing something he doesn't want to do, or he knows he can get away with it. But with kids, he's really good.
Yeah.
As I've been reading, I would have loved when I was younger to have done the dressage, but that's a lot of commitment. And my dream would to ride bridleless.
Okay.
That's what I would dream, but there's a fear, but
Sure.
I mean, that's my dream.
Well, what if you could ride with the same freedom of being bridleless but have the reins in your hands?
The same.
You would love that. Would be great.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this gives me a really good idea of what, and this is what's so exciting, because the things that I'm going to share with you have a lot to do with being able to ride the inside of the horse, which is what people with dressage do. And the beauty is you can have that experience right here in your own backyard. Not everybody really understands or even visualizes himself having that connection. So the fact that you even have that little vision is really cool, because that tells me then I can work with you on some deeper stuff.
And another dream would be at my age, would be, of course, to get fit, but to ride bareback again.
Okay.
And feel the freedom. Even if it wasn't bridleless, I don't know why my mind keeps going to a hackamore.
We can do anything. That's the cool thing. The stuff I'm going to show you will be transferable to any type.
Because I feel something hard in their mouth and a bit in their mouth. Just it bothers me. And I said there should be a better way of communicating, of handling the horse without having them to have something in their mouth and something that. I see a lot of people right away, they want to stop them, and it's yanking right on them, and I might have done it in my time too, but it doesn't look good, and I don't think it feels good either to them. Also, when I see people that are just pulling on the reins, like for safety, and the poor horse is like trying to get his neck out, his head up, and they're just like
hanging on the head for dear life.
Or wanting to keep their head up instead of letting it be, free flow.
Right.
Free flow.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Right. But there is one issue is like, okay, if you let them go, the reins, it's like, you always hear different opinions of saying, okay, if the horse head is too low, he'll stumble, and, you don't have the reins to pull them up, to pull the head up so they don't stumble or fall. That's my fear. I've stumbled with Lexi, and that's the fear I need to get over.
Well, think about when you see them in the wild with their head low. Do they stumble too much? No. So what that tells us, see, everything that we say, then we need to kind of go back to, obviously, if they can ride, walk, be out in the wild with their head low, then if they're stumbling with us, then what could we do to adjust that? That usually means we have a little imbalance.
Yes.
And so if we change the imbalance, we're going to help the stumble. Okay. Now, yes, every horse can have a little stumble, even in the perfect balance, because they hit a rock and they're doing things we're asking them to do that they might go around in the wild. They might not put themselves in the same positions we put them in. But we can help you all of those things where you'll be more confident.
Well, that's the thing is that, when you ride as a child, you just get on the horse and you ride. You have it in the blood and you just ride. But as you get older and you have a little bit more, your balance is off. And if you don't have somebody saying, wait a minute, straighten your back, lower your back, do this, put pressure. You read books, put pressure on one hip and pressure on the other hip, and, pull in one leg, pull in the other leg, and it's like, okay, where am I? You worry so much about what you're doing up here that you forget what's below you.
Yes.
And tensing up, and that's I just don't want to have a fear of riding anymore.
Okay.
I was thrown by a mare 30, 40 years ago. And
3, 4, or 30?
30.
30. Okay, so you have that memory in your mind of that being thrown.
Oh, yeah, she threw me in the rocks and the thorns. It was my dad's mare, and I can see her hoof going up, and she was coming down on me. My dad had my dad not yelled at her, I would have been dead.
Wow.
And so that's way back here. So, but I have to let it go, because not all mares or horses are dangerous.
Right. Here's the great thing. I've worked with so many people. I've worked with a lot of women that have been able to come into, you know, in their this period of time in their life when they want to come back to it.
Yes.
And some of them have never had that childhood experience of riding with no fears like you have.
Okay.
So that is going for you.
Okay.
That is something we're going to bring that childhood freedom back into this. We're not going to get rid of that. And even though you didn't know what you were doing, that's okay.
Well, that's
because
what I'm saying.
you knew you had the confidence to get up there and not know what you were doing.
Yes,
and that's the
exactly.
cowgirl spirit.
Right.
That's the X factor that I cannot put into people. And I've had a lot of women come to me that have never ridden. They've had this dream and they're, you know, they're in their 40s or 50s or 60s and they want to start.
Okay.
And they never even been on a horse. And I'm like, how do I put in this person what they needed at 13? And the only reason that I've been able to do what I do is because I started riding at 10 years old and I never stopped.
Oh, okay.
So you have two types of people. You have the one that had the cowgirl experience, then they stopped,
Right.
and then they came back to it and realized, uh-oh, there's gravity.
Yes.
Because you've got responsibilities
Right.
and you know what can happen. When you're 13, you fall off, you jump back on, you so you know you
forget,
bounce
yeah.
back.
Right. Yeah.
So we have you more in that category where you were a young girl riding and then you're coming back to it. Now, how many years did you not ride in your life, or have you always had a horse throughout your life?
No, I stopped when I was 15. My dad sold a mare. Well, actually, he took her to a breeding farm. Just one day, the next she was gone.
Right.
It was very traumatic.
Yeah.
And then I'd say 35 years. At 51 is when I got a horse again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had that in your blood. You just had to get back to it. Okay. Well, that is the spark we are going to ignite.
Okay.
And I am so excited to get to share things. I'm going to do some demonstrations for you. We're going to do some stuff on the ground.
Okay.
They learn how to take energy that goes down deep from underneath this ground, pull it up through them, and send it out.
Okay.
Okay? That's how horses live. That's how horses work. Horses use the power of this energy all the time. Okay?
From the ground up.
From the ground up. It's everywhere that they tap into it.
Okay.
They're fully aware of it, and they work from their center. That's why you can have a horse bolt from 0 to 60. Because it goes through them. They get a mindset, boom, and they have all the power they need to take care of themselves.
Okay.
But we're going to talk more about controlling this energy, understanding this energy. Have you ever gotten on a horse before and you're sitting there and you're like, come on, you want it to go?
Yes.
You've never had that problem, have you? And what does it do? It just okay? Because you know what we're doing? We're trying to get it to go from right here. We're not using any energy to get it to go. See, I'm just going to start showing you some different.
Yes, okay.
We got to get it to go.
Go. Okay.
Okay, when you have a herd of horses, okay, they're all eating. They're all in zero. We'll call it zero.
All right.
No energy. They're all eating. And what happens? The lead mare hears something. Let's say there's a rustling in the bushes. Her head goes up.
And
Then their head goes up. Then the life comes in them. They get ready. They wait. Shoo,
then they're gone.
and they can go.
Okay.
Okay? It's all about tapping into this energy force.
Okay.
All right? Nobody has to go, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. There's a coyote in the bushes. You know, it's like, whoo,
Yeah.
they go.
All right.
They all unite. So if we're sitting on this energy, on this power available to us,
Okay.
we have to know how to ride that energy. We have to be able to tap into that energy. We have to be able to bring that energy down when we need to. We have to be able to bring it up when we want to go somewhere. What happens in my opinion, and I see a lot, I've done it myself. I was a master at it, so I understand it. These clinicians out there, Pat Pirelli, and they're phenomenal. What they did was they gave the average person like us tools, keys to the city,
Okay.
the ABCs to know how to drive your horse, to drive your car.
Okay.
Okay? But what none of them could really do is manufacture people's fears or energies or know how to get all that in control. So you have to kind of give them like a stick
Okay.
so that they can control situations. Do you see what I mean? Like if you've seen like with some of these where they have the sticks that they're
Yes,
helping move the horse
yes,
over.
right.
And again, I'm not even necessarily against all those things. but they had to give you something to control your horse because they didn't teach you how to use your own energy.
Okay.
They couldn't. That has to be a personal journey.
Okay.
So I am going to go from the inside out of you
Okay.
and bring this out into you. So, all that being said, we're going to use, and I like to use like analogies. This makes it really, really easy.
Okay.
We're going to use energy as 0 to 10.
Okay.
10 being Yahoo, okay? Barrel racing, woo, you're forward, you're in full, you and your horse are full. 0 being that beautiful walk that you already told me you like to have, okay? Down, or a complete stop. Where have you ever been sitting on your horse and you're just sitting there and you two are just zeroed out? You're having a conversation with the neighbor and it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Have you been on a horse that you're zeroed out but he's going in circles and nervous? Or seen that?
I've seen it. Yes.
You know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
They're not with the rider. And the rider's trying to have a conversation, but they may not realize that that rider could be focused on something, but have all this out of control energy going on inside of them. Okay? So if I have a horse that's at a 10 and and it's really nervous, I want to bring it down. I may have to go literally all the way to a 0 just to get it to a 5.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Or if I have a horse that's at a 2, lazy, desensitized, can't get going, I might have to go all the way up to an 8
Okay.
just to get that horse to come up to a 4.
But how do you get your energy up?
That's what we're going to work on today.
Come on.